Welcome everybody to Jay's Woodworks. I put out a short the other day showing a project that I started. It's going to be something like this. So I'm going to go step by step and explain how I got to that point. My platform, I did the most obvious thing. I grabbed my cell phone, I put it on the board, made a mark, went on the other side, made another mark, split it, made sure it was even. I came up with 7 inches for each side, meaning a total of 14 inches for your board. We also wanted to leave some extra space on the ends. I'll explain why later, but it's always good to have in case you want to put a wallet, cell phone, keys, whatever. But we will put some hooks on the bottom when we're done because this will be a holder with a mini shelf on it, I guess would be the best way to explain it. I cut out 4 pieces and I needed a peak. I needed an angle for the mountain look because I went to my chop saw and I figured out an angle to give me that peak look. I messed around with a few angles and I found that 50 to kind of like a 52 angle is really nice for that peak. And I went with that look. So from there, I wanted to butt it up with another piece, which is this short piece right here. Hopefully I'm in frame. It's this short piece right here. So I wanted to kind of butt it up with that angle look. So I went ahead and I messed around finding that angle I'm looking for. Now, the angle I went with was 33, I think. That's for the size board I have. Of course, if you go with a bigger board, or if you want to, like in a mountain to look kind of wider, or go end to end, your angle could always change. So that's always based on how you want your mountain to look and the angle you want it in. So I could once again give you the angles I used, but that doesn't mean you have to use those same ones because once you're building it yourself, you're going to want to kind of give it your own kind of style. You can make them thinner. I went with 1.5 for the thickness. Once you get to that point, you get your angles, you attach them. I only used wood glue. I didn't shoot a nail into them. I was thinking about it, but I didn't find it necessary. It's not something that I really have to fully secure, or maybe I will. I'll find out how I feel when I'm finishing up the project because there is obviously more that goes to this than just this. This is kind of just the design you're going for. Let me rephrase that. The design I'm going with to kind of the style I want. You could change the outlook of the design to your own liking, to your own taste. If you want just 2 mountains, if you want 4 mountains, if you want 5 mountains, that's all up to you. That's on how you want to make it, if this is even the route you want to go. Right. This is how I came up with the mountain design. Now, I'm not saying I created this. I obviously seen a picture of some mountains, and it gave me the idea, and I put this together myself, and in my own style, my own way. Once again, my own design. So if you're at that point, and you got what you're looking for in angle-wise, in designs, of course, you could have little tricks where since you're using multiple pieces, some pieces that you cut out that you're using, you could literally just, once you got your first one and you know you need, let's say, 2 of these, or if you're going more than 2, it all once again depends on you. You could bring it up to the piece of wood you're using, scribe or mark your angle cut that you're looking for, and put it on a piece of wood. And then you cut that to the angle you're looking for. Once you're at that point and you got your angles and you're putting them together, right? So I kind of wish I would have waited to glue these together so I could have shown you and explained to you how I did it. But unfortunately, I was making the short at the same time I was making this. And I went ahead and jumped the gun and making the short, and I ended up pulling these together. Once again, I kind of wish I would have waited. Bit long story short, you get your angles, you make your peak. Now, how do we get the middle peak? So what I did is I grabbed my piece and I put it where I believed I wanted my mountain to sit. I marked that from the inside, technically. Here we go. Let's do it this way. So I marked it from here, giving me the angle I need for this part to sit properly. So I did that on both sides. I peak first. I put those together. I marked my angles. I cut my angles out, and I sat it in place. That's all held by wood glue. Actually, oh, there you go. Now I can actually show you. Oh, that one's a little tight. So maybe I will end up shooting that one later. So when I grabbed these 2 pieces, I put them side by side where I wanted them. So I wanted the both bottom peaks right here to connect. When I did those 2 bottom peaks, I adjusted this. Problem solved. Let's see if I can get a nice view here. So what I did is I wanted this to look like this right here. This is my middle point right here, but I'm not all the way to my middle point. I'm close to my middle point because you're not going to see my middle point. My middle point is kind of hidden. So you have that little gap right there. I made my peaks, I got 2 of them. I cut them at 51. Cut them at 51. And I glued those pieces out, and I got this. So when you do this and you put glue, it sits perfectly right there. That's how you get those 3 peaks. You could do this multiple times. You could do 1, 2, 3, end to end, and then put 2 little mountains on each side. Once again, the design is all up to you. This is the design I'm going with, so this is what I'm doing right now. We're going to have to do a cutout. So while I'm sanding these, actually, you know what? While I have you here, I might as well show you, right? The same way I did for the middle peak, for this peak right here, where I went to the back of it and I marked where I wanted my angles. It's something similar to what we're going to do right now. I'm going to mark in here where I want that to be. I'm going to mark right here where I want this one to be. I'm going to do the same thing for the outsides. Making sure I'm completely lined up so it doesn't move. I'm going to mark right there. I'm going to come back to this side. Mark my V. And repeat. So I marked every spot I want. So now I have a marking for everything I want to cut out slightly. So We're going to find our pivot point to our angle. We're going to line it up. Not like you really have to. You could just follow the line with, since you marked it already, you could follow your line with the square and just get a straight line in. You don't have to find your whole pivot point because you're not going crazy looking for degrees unless you really wanted to. Then you could use your pivot point to find the degree you're looking for. So we're going to cut those out. Grab yourself a scrap. Doesn't matter what kind of scrap, just grab yourself a scrap. Come up to where you're going to cut. Grab your scrap, mark it like this. Just give yourself a line. I also gave myself lines sideways, so if you look at that, that's on those lines, and you'll see why in a little bit. So we're going to get those angles, like I was saying before. We're going to go to the box, we're going to cut that out up to this line. Don't go all the way down, just enough, and we'll trim that out, make it look nice and clean, and you'll see when I come back. So this is what we're looking to do. When you get this done like that, you can literally grab your fingers, pop them right out, and you got yourself a notch. Now it's not the cleanest, but you could do multiple things to clean this, right? So I'll show you one trick real quick. So I slowly glided the blade right over the trim area, cleaning up the whole thing. That looks factory made. That is, I don't have to do anything there. So we're going to continue that for the rest of them, and I'll be right back. So that's what you're looking for. Once you get them in, notches, make sure you mark. Make sure you know which side is which. I struggled a little bit to figure out where they belong. You want it to kind of look like that. Push this one in a little more, make it look flush, and we'll go from there. It's a little tight there on the line, but we'll get that working. But yeah, that's what we're going with. And then once that's done, we'll set this bad boy right there on top, glue him back on, and we'll go from there. For right now, we are going to start sanding this bad boy up a bit, making it look nice and clean. Give it some nice round edges, get the pencil marks gone. Probably even stain it. Be honest with you, I probably will stain it beforehand. That way, when I start putting everything together, I don't have to worry about that later. This was that little edge. Very easy. They're so tiny. Using my knife was the best and easiest, quickest way to do it. Clean this. Any edge that you find that is like that you can't seem to really get, just go with your knife, get to that corner. Once you cut into it down, go sideways, and then just pry it up. It'll pop right off. Nice round edges, nice sharp. Go around it. It's not like you have to do a lot to get them. As long as you got a good grid of sandpaper. I mix it up a little bit. I go from like 60 to 80. I think my highest one is 120 right now. So it all just varies on how you want it sanded. I like to give it a nice smooth finish towards the end. That's why I do the 120. Wipe it down. Make sure it's nice and clean before you do any stain. We're going to repeat this with every single one. End piece, a bottom piece. I had a knot here. Didn't pay no mind to it. When I went to go cut the piece, blew that piece off, but I'm not going to redo that. I'm just going to go ahead and use it. I am making this just right now. And post them on Etsy and try to make money this year. I mean, that's the whole plan, right? Making money, decorating the house. I'm going to use these to decorate the house while I'm at it, so my wife will have things to decorate with. And at the same time, I got a display for my Etsy store and content to show you guys what I'm doing. So, back to what I was doing. Like I said, I'm a little upset that I messed up by not recording this thing. Not a big deal. It happens. But it is what it is. So now we're going to just start putting this thing together. Nothing crazy. I'm going to shoot some nails in here. You don't have to. I'm sure if you put a good amount of glue and you let it sit, it will be perfectly fine. You get an air everywhere. I'm just going to go for it. I'm not even worried how much. I'm just going to go ahead and whatever I have to clean up, I'll clean up. Sometimes I gotta learn how to burn my own tongue. God damn it. One just had it way too much. Oh well. I guess the more the merrier. What a disaster. Oh well. Kind of reminded me of when I was a kid. Get all the Elmer's glue on your finger, on your hand, and just let it dry up, and then you could peel it, and it left like a extra skin layer of glue. I think everybody of my age did that, and who knows, probably kids nowadays still do it. All right, I had here goes my wiping rag now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put these in place. This one here, yeah, this one's here. Okay. Nice and snug. Now it's time. Alright, so once you get that in, nice and tight, as best as possible, I'm going to go ahead and shoot some nails. See, that's it. I want it to go all the way through. Okay. Get a rag. Clean up all our fingerprints all over this thing. Now we go to our next piece. Just gonna go in there and sit that bad boy where it belongs. And I was no longer going to grab my circular saw and do a little groove right here, right across the front. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I wanted to be able to put your phone there if you really wanted to, sideways, frontways, either way you want it, so that way it didn't go anywhere. I'm thinking I may have a trim somewhere, but I'm just gonna leave it. My next step would be to see. I don't. I was hoping I had some hooks. Like I said earlier, I wanted the hooks on the bottom. Lay your phone on top, your wallet, your whatever you want that you have in hand. Have it by the front of your door. You have somewhere to put your stuff. You have somewhere to hang your keys. Can't go wrong. Everybody always forgets their keys, but if you have it hanging right in front of the door, guess what? You won't forget it. It's right there. Well, at least I would hope so, because, well, you know what? I've probably forgotten the keys quite a few times. So I can't say. I can't say it. Hopefully this will help me in the future not to forget my keys. I have some hooks on order for my first project. The reason I haven't completed that was because I'm still waiting for them to go out tomorrow and get the hooks for this one and set it up. That way this will be ready to go and my wife could start decorating the house with this. That's the plan. Well, if you stuck around this long and you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Hit a like button. That goes a long way, I believe. Yeah, I appreciate it. You stuck around. See you on the next one.